Savant.
Oh my stars! Cole Caufield ties it.
He's in. He scores! Oh my! Demina!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Curfew Boys. Your host tonight, Anxious Anthony, and with my boys, we got GQ Chris in the house. What's up, GQ?
Hello.
And we got Fireman
much.
Sam.
Hey now, how's it going?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling hyped. You know, we'll get into it very soon, but just watching a bit of that Rebuild 2 just got me back into the mood.
Oh my God, did it
Cannot
ever?
wait to see them back on the ice. But before we get things started, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our sponsors for this episode. We got Mike's Rubs, Mike's Barbecue Rubs. He's a Canadian company based out of Montreal, Quebec that sells barbecue rubs, sauces, and kettle cooked chips. All of our products are proudly made and packaged in Canada. They can be used on all types of meats, vegetables, and even fish. Their chips are kettle cooked in Canada, and they're the only company in Canada who is using their own barbecue rubs as their seasoning for their chips. You can follow them on any social media page such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All their products are available for purchase on their website at www.mikesbarbecuerub.com. And they also ship all across Canada. Guys, follow them on Instagram. You'll see all their information to place an order, and you'll see their products. I use their products. Sam uses their products.
They're so good.
They're fantastic, especially now during barbecue season. I know it's coming to an end, but you can use it all year long. And as always, don't forget to rub your meat. Also, would like to thank our other sponsor, Sunil. What a great guy. Habs Cave. Guys, give him a follow on Instagram. It's at Habs Cave. Guys, it's every man's dream to have this guy's basement, especially a Habs fan's dream. Anything you can think of, memorabilia of the Montreal Canadiens, is in that basement. Also, not only that, he has great content. He knows a lot about hockey and the Montreal Canadiens, and he supports the community, supports everybody. He's so knowledgeable, an amazing guy to just be friends with. So just message him, give him a call, text him, message him on Instagram. He's a great guy. Follow him at Habs Cave. His name is Sunil. Thank you for all your love and support, Sunil.
Absolutely.
And guys, if you love what you hear, guys, you can listen to us on any podcast platform such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Music, any podcast platform you guys like to listen to. If you want to see more content from us, you can follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook. Guys, every Habs content you want to see, just follow us, give us a follow. And if you want to see our beautiful faces, like tonight, me outside, Chris in his room, Sam in his room as well, we can just
Sam's like wherever the heck you are, whatever setup you got going, that's like definitely not your fucking your room for sure.
But just give us a follow, like, and subscribe to our channel. It is free. Share this with all your friends. All Habs content. We want to hear what you think, so please give us an honest rating. The only way it'll make us better. And new season of the Curfew Boys is just around the corner. I cannot wait to see our boys on the ice. I know they started practicing in Barassa right now. Sam and I and maybe Chris will be in Barassa complex next week.
And where? Where's Barassa?
Barassa. Sorry.
Brassard.
Why am I saying Barassa? What the fuck is wrong with me tonight?
Is Barassa the Italian version of that?
Henny Barassa on RDP, you know, the pity? Yeah.
Barassa. Oh, okay. Yeah, Brassard, not Henry Barassa. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Just giving more content to Joy to fuck around with me. But yeah, I'll get to that actually. But yes, we'll be in Brassard next week to see our boys on the ice for their camp. Guys, I just can't fucking wait. I really can't wait. But speaking of Joey, I know some of our followers like our little banter here, and I know Joey's trying to get to me, and I think my reaction is making him win. I think that's his whole point. But I want to clarify something to our listeners out there. I never said that Peters was a first liner. I said he looked like one when I
Pierce,
saw him.
Pearson, right?
Pearson. What
Pearson.
the fuck's wrong with me tonight? Pearson. You see, another thing. Honestly,
something wrong with the air in Laval, though.
probably. But just to clarify, I never said he was a first fucking liner. I said he looked like he had potential. I was at the red and blue practice. I saw him on the ice. Again, I'm not a scout, Joey. I'm not a fucking scout, but whatever. So just to clarify that. Also, clarify number 2. I never, ever said that Primo was going to be our future. Okay? I had a lot of respect for Primo. I think he still has it in him. And I've always said in a different uniform, in a different setting. Okay?
Mhm.
I did say last season or the season before that he finally showed the signs that we always hoped that he had. But I never said he was the next Carey Price. I never said he was our number 1 goalie. So, Joey, stay in Korea or Japan or anywhere you are. Okay? All right? Stay fucking there.
Oh my
Because if you come back, I will not
I
let
don't
you
know.
pass the borders. All right? Now, that being said, Joey, until you want to face me here live on the podcast, football season just around the corner.
No.
You want to give our fans something? You want to give our fans something? Let's have a fun fucking bet. All right? And not just this bet of, no, we're going to do something. The winner and the loser has to do something live on our podcast. I'll think about it. I'll think about what that bet is.
That thing is.
To all our listeners out there, please write in our comments below what you want us to bet on and what the loser has to do. We're going to do something about football and maybe talk about Habs stats for the season and see who's better and more knowledgeable for the Montreal Canadiens. You fucking bipolar fan. That's what you are, Joey. You are a bipolar Montreal Canadiens fan. One day you love them, one day you hate them, one day you love them, one day you hate them, one day you're just like a typical Habs fan, okay, Joey? But I still love you. Okay, I just had to let that all out.
Jesus, tell us how you really feel about Joey.
I
This
do
is
love him.
20. This is
I do
20
love him.
plus years of frustration built up.
Fucking hate it. No, I'm just joking. No, Joey, I love you, but yeah, just something to give to our fans. But anyways, let's get to more important things.
Yeah.
Rebuild 2, season 2, guys. Did you guys watch it? I did it. Sorry, I watched 5 minutes of it, but go ahead.
I definitely watched it, and I think it's one of the most besides the start of the regular season. I think it's something to watch. Probably one of the most anticipated documentaries regarding the Montreal Canadiens. And I know the Canadiens every year they release, at least for the last, I'd give or take 6-7 years, they've been releasing the behind the scenes of the draft, the process behind selecting the players per round and then selecting them on stage, etc. Ever since the Uri Slafkovsky draft, the Canadiens have been consistently releasing these little mini documentaries, these little mini behind the scenes videos on YouTube. And, everybody was always looking forward to that. But ever since Crave and Crave Canada came out with the idea of doing the rebuild, I think this one has been taking the cake. This one, I couldn't wait because it was the beginning of this roller coaster of a season, and we all know how it ended, and we all loved the way it ended despite the Canadiens losing. But what was so weird about it was the first episode starts with faces that are no longer part of the team. Like it starts, they show Emil Heineman, they show Logan Mailloux, and they show Justin Barron, Caden Primo. So there's a bit of that weird sense, and you understand why it's released now. I mean, it's also to hype up the start of the new season, but it's just so weird. You're excited for this new season. This documentary comes out. You see Logan Mailloux talk. You're like, okay, well, he's no longer there. You see Emil Heineman, how they kind of hype up how he had a good training camp and he's going to make the team, scores a goal in Buffalo to kind of get the lead back again. He's no longer there. You see Justin Barron a little bit, and obviously Caden Primo, they showed the game in Buffalo where he got pulled. That part is a bit weird, but what I'm really happy so far, these first 2 episodes, is that it's really focused on the players and on the coaching staff and a little bit more on management rather than, if I remember last season, the way it started was a little bit more on the business side of things. Like it was half-half, but there's a couple of times where they showed, and I understand why. It's the first documentary of the Montreal Canadiens in this rebuild. They kind of want to sell how the business works a little bit, but what I really, really enjoyed about these first 2 episodes, it's almost fully focused on the players and on the coaching staff. Very little on the side of business. Very on the only cool thing behind the scenes is like how they started the home opener. That, and which was a lot better. If anybody remembers the home opener episode of last season's documentary, like not too many people were impressed. You had that one guy that went up to Moles and he was in French, like, this is the worst shit I've ever seen. So no, honestly, there's like so many things about it that I really like, but I'm gonna let you guys talk too. But so far, these first 2 episodes, I'm very impressed. Very impressed. They got off to a great start. That's even better than the first season.
Chris,
Yeah,
you watched it?
Absolutely. So waited end of the workday, watched those two and those 2 first episodes, and I have to say, without getting into any particular details for any fans who haven't watched it yet, I found it a little bit less filtered
Yep.
than the first iteration. Like there
Yep.
was a lot more passion, there was a lot more swearing. I would say, even to when Marty said he's going to get into his hard coaching, I think he was a little bit. You clearly see he was a little bit tougher on the players. I like there was a little snippet where he's just like, no, we had the conversation. We'd have a conversation. That we're looking each other in the whites of the eyes, and like we were saying stuff that, not hurtful, but things getting to the truth behind the matters and the
Yep.
problems. And
Yep.
anyways, there were just a few moments that were very heavy in terms of emotions and like what Marty brings behind the scenes. Man, he's a great speaker. Like I'm really,
Dude.
really, really, really. I think season 2 to date, the thing that reassures me the most is like Marty is definitely the guy.
Oh my
And
god.
there is
Oh my
a
God.
portion
Big
where
time.
it really goes into the portion where they had their slump at the beginning of the season. You almost forget because they made the playoffs. They were at the bottom
Yeah,
of the league.
I
They were at the
know.
bottom of the league. So they really, 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 Marty like held his own, and there was maybe one more element to kind of spoil it that I loved hearing from Marty in the rebuild part 2 and these first 2 episodes is he said, like, in that losing skid of 6 games before they ended up winning in Buffalo, he goes, we can see improvement on the defensive side, but the guys forgot how to play offensively, and they weren't putting up the goals. Anyways, there
Mhm.
were just a lot of things that Marty had called in advance, and you get to see this behind the scenes timeline of what he's calling, and he knows what he's
Yeah.
doing. Like he
Oh,
knows his
dude.
players,
A
and
1000%, man. 1000%.
So I didn't watch it. Sorry, Chris, are you finished your point? I don't want to.
I mean, without spoiling anything else, it's just cut me off right there.
All right. Look, I mean, I didn't watch it yet. I started watching it this morning. I was all like fucking excited, and then work just got in the way, and I was pausing it so many times to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna enjoy this. Let me just wait. The only thing I saw was just the first scene where the fan base and management was so excited that we signed Liney, and I kind of forgot about that because it's this
Traded.
team. This
Traded
team.
for Liney.
Sorry.
Traded for Liney.
Yeah, when we traded for Liney, but like this rebuild, this like I feel like we're part of them. Like the way management is building this team, they're getting the fans involved, right? Like this,
Mhm.
like usually when you're watching a sports team, you're a fan and you're watching these guys perform or whatever. But the way the Habs are doing it, the way management is doing it this time around, and we're all enjoying it, they're bringing the fans in as well. Like we feel part of them. Like they're including us, the full transparency and all that stuff, and this whole the rebuild,
1000%.
like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel we're part of them. So when I was watching the first, and so my point of what I was trying to make is that it doesn't feel like it was last year when we traded for Liney. It feels like he's been in our team for a long time, right? Like it's been so long that whatever. So the first scene, not to spoil, I'm going to spoil it, whatever. I'm sure most of our fans watched it, and this episode's only going to be posted in 3 days. So by then, majority of these guys listen to this fucking episode. And if you're late, then that's too bad for you. No, I'm just joking.
Get Crave, pay your bills, and
Crave,
watch
pay
it.
your bills and watch it. So the first scene, and I completely forgot about this moment of how we all felt, right? It was a preseason game. We're all excited to see Patrick Laine in our lineup, and the moment he touched the fucking puck, it was amazing. Like, the crowd was giving him a standing ovation. He knew how to play stop. Like, it was just magical, right? And then boom, that hit.
PTSD right there,
knee
man.
to knee, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this. But like, it brought me back to that moment. I remember where I was in that moment. I wasn't watching the game. I was at a restaurant. I got a text message from the group.
What do you mean you were watching it? That's very anticlimactic.
No, I wasn't watching that game. So I was at a restaurant. It was this preseason game. I wasn't really, and everybody in the group writes, guys, Liney's injured. I'm like, okay, it's probably just, no, but like, it was a really bad one, right? So, and then that was like the downhill. Like, here we are all fucking excited for the season to start and seeing all these guys together and seeing this new member in our lineup who's whatever. And then that happens. And it brought us back to that moment of like defeat, right? And back to what you said before, Sammy, this roller coaster ride that this team is bringing us. And you know what? I want to maybe, tap since the Curfew Boys started in 2021.
Don't say it.
Nothing but
don't say it.
What?
Don't say we bring the curse of injuries. Just please.
No,
okay,
I wasn't saying that.
Thank God. Okay, thank God.
We are bringing entertainment to this team since like it was a boring like many years of the Montreal Canadiens till 2021. Year one, the Curfew Boys begin. We make the Stanley Cup Finals in a dramatic way possible, right? Like ups and downs. We even called it the soap opera era for the Montreal Canadiens. Like win, lose, this, that, and then we make the Stanley Cup Finals and whatever. And since then, it's been nonstop. There's always something to talk about with this team, and I'm just like I said, I'm loving what the organization is doing. They're bringing us in. And not a lot of teams are doing that, right?
Well,
and I'm sure eventually that's gonna come.
They sold us. They sold the rebuild very well to the organization, and it's like, it's funny you mentioned like since we started, because after that Stanley Cup final run, it's been nothing but a rough 3 seasons after that. So the fact that we as a podcast managed to tough it out, but also it's the fan base that toughed it out too, and that's what this management was very good at doing. You said it, the full transparency for the most part from Hughes and Gorton, but they like, and it's also, it starts at the top. It's with Jeff Molson, and good on him for making that decision and having the trust in everyone to really let the fans know and listen, it's going to be tough, but we need your support anyways. Like they were able to bring the fans in. They sold it to the fans properly. And most importantly, I think the fans reacted well in some aspects.
No, but we all said it, right? Like we're finally in an era where we're all being patient. Whereas before we were never patient. Why? Because management kept promising us things and it never happened. And we just kept, putting our hopes up, and then it would.
Because there was no plan. There was no plan like before.
They made a plan, but it was never. But
if there was a plan, they didn't really stick to it the way Hughes and Gorton are doing.
That's why I'm saying that they bought our hopes up, and then it crashed. Right? They made a plan. They had a 5-year Bergevin plan that we're all excited for, and then it was like, let's fix the little potholes, and then boom, it got crashed. But I want to say something else, and we keep saying this over and over again, and I'm sorry to our listeners who hear us and we keep repeating this, but like,
it's for the new listeners.
It's for the new listeners, but not only that, we have to also keep bringing this up where now the fans are happy and we're finally understanding, and we're there. Management is doing it well, but it's also now the players and everybody around the league. So I don't know if you guys saw this post from Alex Carriere 2 days ago. TSN posted it, right? I don't know if you guys spoke about this in the last episode, but
probably not.
No, okay. So Alex Carriere was asked something about the summer of Montreal, and his response was this: "It says a lot about how we're treated. Everyone wants to be here. It's the first time I've heard something like that, honestly, that all the guys are coming back. Some of them are here all summer. Some of them are in and out. It shows how tight we are as a group and how well we're treated by the team and organization.
It's culture. It's culture.
This is coming from a fucking NHL player in this organization. I've never heard anybody say that about the Montreal Canadiens for who knows how long, right? Yeah, players that just wanted to get out of here, Radulov and everybody else, right? People want to come play with us now. It's spread all over the league. Now we're in an organization where, you know what, these players that we never thought would want to come here, there's always a chance. Remember back in the day when we used to hear rumors of, oh, this guy we're gonna trade for this guy, we're gonna free agency. Oh, we're all like, no one wants to come here. No one wants to come here. Who wants to come to Montreal? Well, now we always have that.
Dobson does.
Well, that's
But now we have a
pretty
glimpse of hope
much
that big names want to come here, and this is a perfect example of what Alex Carrier said 2 days ago.
well when they see that Dobson took a bit of a pay cut to be here. We're gonna look and see once Lane Hutson signs. I know we spoke about it episodes ago, but like guys are gonna look at that contract too. If Patrick Laine picks it back up, comes into a much healthier season, and he like from a guy that practically said I was ready to call it quits in hockey, I was ready to stop, and then Montreal gave me a newfound love for the game. You think players around the league don't notice that too? I with the emergence of hopefully Demidov and like I said, Lane Hutson and Nick Suzuki keep doing his thing, Slav and Cole and all those guys. Like then on like I said on defense too with Dobson and Gooley paired up. The league is taking notice, guys. The league is taking notice of this team 1,000%. It goes back to Marty. I know we mentioned Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon, and even Jeff Molson. It goes to Marty, Chris. Man, that second episode, just the way he started the speech, and look, spoiler alert, but how sometimes life isn't fair. You think you're never going to win a game, and you saw him about to get emotional too. How the fuck do you not want to run through a wall for this guy? Like, as a player, as a young player, you're 22, 23 years old. Your coach is a Hall of Famer, but him being real with you, him being real with the group, how do you not want to run through walls?
Guys, I don't think
there'll
be any, but I don't think there's anyone. Okay, I'm sure there's better out there for sure, but for this culture, for this team, for this rebuild,
I don't think
there's anyone better than Marty.
No.
I was just about to say, I think we've said it a number of times, but I think the closest guy is Rob Brindamore, but I don't think he delivers the same type of message. I think Marty captures that seriousness in that he was a player that had to work extremely hard to get to where he did. He proved himself beyond the shadow of a doubt and is a Hall of Fame player. But at the same time, he could come with that impactful message. Like they say, okay, John Cooper, back in the day, Guy Boucher. Like these guys had can really deliver a message to the room properly and capture them emotionally. I think you got the best of both worlds in that he has the players' respect in what he's accomplished, but he's also got the means to like completely sweep them up and get them onto the wagon and like,
But
full steam ahead.
Not only that, we're a team where we need to prove everybody wrong. And that was Marty's career, right? He was a player that he had to prove agents and scouts and everybody, his old coaches, his teammates, to prove everybody that he could be this Hall of Famer player. He was just always pushed aside. This short, young guy in the league, doesn't have enough in him, but he proved everybody wrong. And now he's in a team where we're rebuilding and everybody's at the beginning hating on us and okay, this Montreal team is not going anywhere anytime soon, blah, blah, blah. So this is just a perfect story. Like, if ever the time comes when we win the Stanley Cup, guys, this is a perfect story, right? You have a team,
1,000%. Man.
You have a team building. You have a coach. Remember the day that they signed Marty? We all freaked. Like, who's this guy coaching a Pee Wee team, and now he's here? And he's proving everybody wrong.
Well, it's 1,000%. Well said. The funny thing is that we know this just based on like just not outside noise, but just like what we see Marty say in press conferences, post-game press conferences, sometimes pre-game too, practices, all that stuff. But like, this documentary really shows behind the scenes, and like, I guess it gives fans a quick glimpse of what these players are feeling and going through in the locker room, very, very, very briefly, for like maximum 20 seconds. But my God, like, you feel that. And I look back on that, on Marty talking at the beginning of the second episode too. Don't forget, there was a time where like there was so much heat on him, so much heat on him. Probably people in the media were like, maybe right now the pressure of actually being in the mix is getting to him. Maybe the team is giving up on him. Like Marty says, it fuels him, but at some point it probably affected him a little bit too. And maybe that's why he got emotional. And you see it, like it for sure affected him. But it's also a thing where, like, guys, there's another video on YouTube the Canadiens released when they made the playoffs, that final game. Go watch it. You see Marty walking into the room, fist bumping like the coaches and the players. Not even that one, Chris. Dude, he's crying like he's fighting back tears, because this is a guy at one point in the season was like, getting him out of here. We should have never hired a Pee-wee coach. To, my goodness, from last place in December or January, or probably, end of November, whenever that from last place there to barely making the playoffs, but still making it. Why do you think he was the Jack Adams finalist? There's a big reason why. And this is why, to end the topic on the documentary, unless Chris, you got one last thing to say, I can't wait for the rest of these episodes to come out, because they're going to show a lot more of that. They're going to show probably Patrick Laine getting a hat trick, the Four Nations, break too, for them getting, then coming back on that hot streak, Nick Suzuki taking the charge, who was ranked top 10 best centerman in the NHL by the NHL Network, and then making the playoffs, Demidov debut. Like, there's so much to look forward to this documentary. It's, what this documentary makes do. I already can't wait for season 3. And this new season hasn't even started yet.
So maybe, I didn't have a comment originally, but with what you said, I really, really, really am anxious and hoping that they showcase one small thing. Kent Hughes made it very public that Nick Suzuki went ahead and asked for there not to be any trades.
Mm-hmm.
I am hoping, when you said Four Nations, the Four Nations break, I'm really hoping that they show the behind the scenes of that
1000%.
conversation.
Oh, yes.
Or something of the sort. That would be magical.
Well, speaking of which, and I think everybody knows this by now, but this shows leadership, not just within Suzuki, but within management, that Kent Hughes calls Nick Suzuki and see his
Episode
thoughts.
1, it says it starts by saying with the whole Laine trade, they went to Suzuki to ask for his permission.
That's leadership, man. That's fucking leadership.
Since when do you hear in business a fucking manager or owner come to a player? Hey,
real leaders in business and in management are supposed to do that.
I know,
like the military
but
does.
It's fucking rare, right?
So that's the difference between successful businesses and Jocko Willink said it. Like, in the military, the head guy says, I need a plan, goes to his team and says, come up with your own visions of this plan and we'll go together. I like this. I don't like this. I might like this, but tweak. That's what successful management does. That's what successful, call it a business, call it whatever the heck you want to call it. Like, that's what they do. Like, true leaders don't need to know it all. They don't like the head of the table doesn't always need to know it all. When you go ask a captain, or I guess in this, and as far as a hockey team is concerned, when you go ask the team captain and other players what their thoughts are, like, that says everything about the culture of this team. And that there's nothing else to say. And it's we've been saying it, and now the proof is in the pudding in a documentary.
And we're gonna keep saying it.
I love it. Did you guys see Cole Caufield got invited to Team USA training camp? Well, training camp, the camp for the Olympics, the orientation camp, whatever you want to call it. But they don't invite Lane Hutson.
I mean,
like, what
I
the
would
fuck
say
what is Bill Guerin thinking?
Yeah, but there's they're gonna say, oh well, we have somebody like that in Quinn Hughes, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they don't like about the Montreal Canadiens players, but the Team USA roster doesn't seem to match up too well with what Montreal has. I think it was fairly insulting that he didn't even get an invite,
Oh,
considering
my
some of
God.
the other players that did get the invite. I think he has his place there, and he's definitely got a very important future with Team USA. So,
I'll-
as much
I'm
as
gonna
Team
play
Canada
devil's
did it
advocate.
with Nick Suzuki, I think Team USA really dropped the
Mhm.
ball with inviting Lane Hutson, with not
Not
inviting Lane
invited. Yeah,
Hutson for
yeah,
that
yeah.
matter.
Well, look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and I'm only doing this not because I have love and respect for Lane, and I'm probably one of, like, in our group, like, we're all number one fans for Lane Hudson, even the Montreal Canadiens organization, whatever. But yeah, maybe they dropped the ball, maybe they did, but do you think also it's lack of experience? Maybe we had this
Okay.
conversation. We had this conversation last episode, Sammy and I. Okay,
Yes.
no,
Yeah,
I know what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna say. I know what you're gonna
I'm
say.
ready. I'm ready to drop the gloves on this. Let's go.
Okay.
Go. Yeah,
No,
go.
I'm not here to drop any gloves.
I'm
What
gonna show the rosters in a few seconds, but go ahead first.
we were talking about the Lane Hudson contract extension, right?
Mhm.
When are we gonna get it? Is it gonna be now? Is it gonna be next year? Right? And then I was saying maybe they're waiting to like, he had a hell of a season last year.
Rookie of the
Right?
year.
Rookie year, he fucking proved the world, like, this guy is the next level, right? And he's not even at his peak prime yet. He's just
I
a
know.
rookie.
Yeah.
And he's pulling these points. But sometimes, rookies have this and I'm not saying this is Lane. I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
But we want to see that year two consistency. Will this player bring this back and more? Because now he set an expectation, Lane,
Mhm.
right? And who knows? Maybe next year he's gonna have the worst season of his career. We don't know that, or maybe the best here. So maybe, again, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be in Team USA, but maybe the mindset in that organization right now is saying, okay, you know what? We have other people like Quinn Hughes and everybody else that has the potential to be in this team because we've seen them, we've had the experience, blah blah blah. Give Lane another year.
But
Let's see.
Bill Guerin doesn't like small players though either. Bill Guerin was a big power forward himself. I'm not saying he doesn't like small players, but I think he wants to build this Team USA. And it's a constant mistake they do. A big team that could beat Team Canada, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like Quinn Hughes, Quinn Hughes and Adam Fox, they're small defensemen compared to the average size over 6 feet.
McAvoy or something like that.
Yeah,
Players
no,
like that. So
exactly that. So my point in all this, guys, is I'm going to kind of join you, Anthony, in being devil's advocate to the point where I'm going to say I'm not even saying Lane Hutson should make the team, but you're the NHL Rookie of the Year as an undersized defenseman. Okay, so not just best rookie defenseman in the NHL, all positions. You're the best one in the NHL, so you win the Calder Trophy. He's ranked 7th overall, in 7th place amongst all defensemen in points. He's actually tied for 6th with Victor Hedman. And to even add to that, he was the 3rd best American defenseman in most points, behind Quinn Hughes and Zach Werenski. And listen, whoever makes the roster for Team USA, there's a 99.99% chance these players deserve it. And I'm talking about Zach Werenski, Charlie McAvoy. I am talking about Quinn Hughes. I like Jake Sanderson. I really do. I know he's an Ottawa Senators defenseman, but I actually like him. He takes after his father. Very, very good defenseman. I would take him on the team if the Canadiens had a chance. Don't tell me he's better than Lane Hutson just because he's bigger. Like, Lane Hutson had a much better season than him. Luke Hughes, love him, high pick. He's not gonna be as flashy as Quinn on defense. He's gonna be a solid defenseman. Those guys deserve the invitation, but you're telling me Lane Hutson doesn't deserve an invitation just because he's a rookie and doesn't have? He already played for Team USA in the World Championship. He already played for Team USA before he even made the NHL. He went and played against men like across the pond, and he had a kind of like end-to-end goal similar to the one he scored against Philly scored a disgusting shootout goal too. Like, again, I'm not saying Lane Hutson has to make the team, but to not get an invite, like you guys said, I think that's insulting.
Yeah, yeah. If you put it that way, yes, an invite more than making the team. But again, I would say, again, I'm pushing back. But if next year he doesn't get the invite, then I would say it's more of an insult than this year.
Well, he's got to wait another 4 years. And here's another thing: we know Lane Hutson's going to make Team USA Olympics one day. So why not invite him anyways, just to get him the feel for it, play, practice with future line mates or future teammates?
Does management and the Canadiens have a say in who gets invited?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. If they did, Nick Suzuki would have made Team Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
So here, I'm going to bring up the roster, okay? Just give me a couple of seconds here. So we're going to look at the forwards real quick. It's a big lineup. And then we're going to look at defense too. So here you go. Amongst the defensemen, like Brock Faber, okay, Adam Fox, Noah Hannafin, Luke Hughes, Quinn Hughes, Seth Jones, okay, Stanley Cup champion for sure, Jackson Lacombe, Charlie McAvoy for sure, Ryan McDonough. I have a feeling he's going to make the team simply because he's a veteran and it's his last chance to represent his country at the Olympics and a shot at gold medal. So, anyways, Brett Pesce, Neil Pionk, okay, Jake Sanderson, Brady Shea, Jacob Slavin for sure, Alex Vlasic, all right, and Zach Werenski for sure. It's like you're telling me amongst this list, Lane Hutson doesn't deserve at least an invitation. This is bananas to me. This does not make any freaking sense.
Jackson Lacombe.
I mean,
tell me who he plays for, boys. Exactly.
I didn't do my
on this. Even if you take Alex Vlasic, like, no, but it's like who is this guy? Like,
it's not the Ducks.
At the end of the day, how do you not have the rookie of the year and again a guy who's looks like another version of Quinn Hughes out there on the ice? I don't know how you don't have that guy. Like you said, for future purposes, just to be around the guys, just to get that feel for what it is to be around USA hockey. I think it's just a lack of it's, as Michel Therrien would say, it's a lack of respect.
And listen, even like super happy for Cole Caufield. He deserves an invitation too, but he's got major competition. Matt Boldy, Logan Cooley, Kyle Connor, who's going to make it. Jack Eichel is going to make it for sure. Connor Garland, most likely. Jake Gansel for sure. Jack Hughes for sure. Patrick Kane, again, just like Ryan McDonough on defense, I think they're going to give Patrick Kane one last shot because it's his last chance. Clayton Keller, who's amazing. Matthew Nyes, say what you want about him, but he's a great player. Chris Mother effing Kreider, he's for sure going to make it. Dylan Larkin, Austin Matthews, don't even think. There's no question about it. JT Miller might make it. Frank Nazar just got an extension with the Chicago Blackhawks. Brock Nelson, another veteran too, might be his last chance. Shane Pinto, okay, whatever. Jason Robertson, who, he's having an up and down the last 2-3 seasons. Brian Russ, Tage Thompson, okay. Brady Tkachuk, fine, yeah. Vincent Trocheck, Alex Tuck, like these are big guys. And Matthew Tkachuk is not even there because he's injured. So imagine that. Like Caufield is gonna have. I don't know. I hope he makes it. As a biased fan, I'll say he better make it. But this is a good looking lineup, and I really think for Cole to make this team, like he has to light it up. He has to light up the lamp. Like before January hits. January, when are the Olympics again?
February 11th.
They're in February, right?
February 11th to 22nd.
So, dude, by like January.
Yeah, February 11th to the 22nd.
There you go. By
how many games is it though?
Well, it's 2 weeks, right? The Olympics usually it's like It's usually 2.5 weeks. I think Cole's he's gonna have to be at like come January. If he's at, it's possible he could do it, but if he's at like 25 goals, maybe if he's pushing 30, then I think he'll have a great chance of making the team.
I'm assuming because of the Olympics this year, there's no Four Nations.
That's right. There's no Four Nations. There's no All-Star either.
Oh, fuck the All-Star.
So I think they need to revamp all of that because it hasn't been great for like God knows how long now. So I think in the new CBA it's going to be 1 year All-Star. I think 1 year an international tournament, another year All-Star, and then the Olympics, and then repeat. So that's how I think it's going to go down. But it's something I'm looking forward to. Like Nick Suzuki better make Team Canada. I mean, we just mentioned it earlier. He was ranked 10th overall, amongst centermen in the NHL. If he doesn't make Team Canada this time around, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
Because it especially if John Cooper's still at the helm, who said, "Hey, you got a hell of a fucking future, kid. Like you're a coming out party on that Stanley Cup Finals when Tampa beat Montreal."
Yeah.
Nick Suzuki deserves that spot, man. Like whether it's a third line centerman, fourth line centerman, I don't care. All he does is play a defensive role on the penalty kill. I don't care. He better make the team. Like I desperately want Cole Caufield to make this team. Just as a Habs fan, we could say fucking right. If Cole Caufield doesn't make the team, I'll be somewhat disappointed, but I won't be upset about it. If Nick Suzuki does not make Team Canada, that's going to upset me even more now. Now, especially after what happened in the Four Nations, him not getting picked. However, I'm going to say this, guys. Maybe it's a good thing that Lane Hutson didn't make it. 2 weeks rest. Nick Suzuki
that's how I look at it, because
Montreal Canadiens got a 2 weeks rest, and look what happened after.
See, but that's how I
What happened
see
to the
things.
Kachuk brothers? Look what happened to the Kachuk brothers. Went to go play for the Four Nations face-off, and they were finished for the year.
Oh, a lot of guys were finished for the year
See,
after.
that's how
big
I
time.
see this. Like, as much as yes, the Olympics and Four Nations, it's nice to see our boys there, because it's a lot of pride for this organization to have players finally in that's known and could be shown in like play for their country. But at the same time, here we are in a rebuild, trying to make playoffs, and we want to be healthy, and we have a lot of issues with injuries that destroy. Like, look at last season. We made it by the last game only because we had so many injuries at the beginning. A healthy Montreal Canadiens team proves that we can go really far. So if we're rested and healthy, to me, that means more to me than seeing them play for Team Canada or Team USA.
Yeah, I see your point.
You know what I mean? And Lane Hutson is still young. I get it. I get your points about being insulted of that guy. Like, why is at least an invitation, right? Fair. Making the team, whatever, but invitation, yes, I agree with you. He should have been invited. But if you could ask me come February where we are in the standings, and you're telling me you're giving these players 2 weeks rest to come back in March, a month before fucking playoffs, give me that rest any day of the week. Give me that rest. That's how I see it. Especially we're a young team, right? Like, our team is not experienced yet to play all these games. Like, I'm sorry. Like, look at Florida Panthers, 2 years in a row, playing all the way until fucking June. These guys are fucking tired, and they're still able to do it and still win it. Do you think our young players with no experience can put all that weight on them? We're not there yet. So if you're going to give us rest, I will take it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. Maybe that's why I was not as passionate of being mad that he wasn't invited to Team USA, whatever. But like, I'd rather have a rested team in March than a player that's giving us points and we have to fight for that playoffs and make it to the second round.
Yeah, I get it.
Give me that rest.
Yeah, I get it. Go, Chris.
No, I think we can pretty much wrap it up on that side. I'd say if we keep it on the topic of Nick Suzuki, you mentioned it earlier, but maybe we could dive into that just a little bit. Him being ranked top 10, number 10 officially in terms of top centerman in the league. I think Nick Suzuki is finally starting to get the respect that he deserves.
Oh, yeah.
I think that there's a clear argument that all the guys ahead of him are very much deserving. I think there could have even been some individuals, maybe Mark Scheifele could have shuffled down a little bit, and I think somebody like Jack Hughes could have climbed up a little bit on that list, or maybe swapped with Scheifele. But all that to say is Nick Suzuki, it's getting to the point where I think he's getting the recognition that he deserves. Whether you want to tie it back to the documentary, you see kind of what he's doing behind the scenes. So many times last season, he really picked up the team, put it on his back, and got the job done. But Nick Suzuki's the real deal, and I'm so happy to see the NHL Network and fans from across the league and hockey analysts finally giving him the credit that he deserves and his dues.
Yeah,
And-
no, 1,000%.
Well said, Chris. But not only that, I'm finally happy to see all across the league and all across the world that Montreal Canadiens are finally back on the map, right?
Yeah.
We were 24 Cup Stanley Cup champions. We had a historic, we have a historic team, an historic logo and all that. And then we kind of became a laughing stock a little bit, right? Like with this drought and this years of quote unquote rebuild or whatever you want to call it, all these years, we became a laughing stock, right? Like I don't want to become the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we were getting there. No, but we were, right? And we were being laughed at. And even our fans started getting fed up, right? So we're finally back on the map. We're finally noticed. We're finally in conversations of elite talent, right? We're finally in conversations of having.
Oh my God, with Demidov and Hutson.
But that's the thing. We're finally in that talk. Look, we just spent 15, 20 minutes talking about making Team USA and Team Canada. When's the last time we had this conversation? Right?
Carey Price.
Well, Carey Price.
Okay, Carey Price.
Carey Price, and it was Carey Price, and that's
And
pretty
Shea
much
Weber.
it. Like, Shea Weber too, but Shea Weber,
Shea Weber came from Nashville.
it was towards the end. Like we loved PK Subban, but he was a healthy scratch that whole Olympic tournament. So it was the only player we had from Montreal was Carey Price, maybe Max Pacioretty a little bit in Team USA, and then as far as European talents are concerned, the latest guy we had was Joel Armia for like it was a superstar in Finland all of a sudden. I don't get it. That guy every time he goes plays for Finland, he's like Finnish Gretzky all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And now that we have Patrick Laine, him too for sure. Slavkovsky with Slovakia, 1,000%. But as far as like Team Canada and like the Americans, the Team USA are concerned, like it was just Carey Price that was the big name, rightfully so.
Carey Price was just special and unique, and I'm just saying we're finally in conversations that we just were never part of, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah, right? just that the Canadiens are on the way. They're doing every analyst says the Canadiens are doing this rebuild properly, and they're doing it right.
Yep.
So,
it's I want to maybe tie everything together with what you just said, Sam. Like, I think it took years of like true pain, and I will say this: it took years, a few years of true pain to kind of reset.
Yeah.
No, to reset. I think again we've said it a number of times since the Patrick Roy trade. Because Patrick Roy was an insane bargaining chip, we could have had all sorts of prospects. But since Patrick Roy was traded away and the Montreal Canadiens sort of went downhill, there wasn't much until Kovalev came along. What did we do? We fumbled the ball. All those guys, Commissary, Kovalev, Koivu, and others just walked away in free agency without getting anything. All this to say is there were multiple cycles of the Montreal Canadiens organization and management dropping the ball, not facing that pain, not resetting, like properly resetting and rebuilding and saying, no, we're gonna be pushing for playoffs, and then we get to the playoffs and we'll see what happens. And basically that was it. There was no leeway for them to really say, no, we're in a really bad spot. We really need to reset our prospect pool. We really need to reset our players. We got to trade away what we have. And all this to say is, you go back to, let's say, the documentary. This is not very indicative of what the Montreal Canadiens as an organization have been. They've been very closed, and they haven't been able to show very much of what's going on behind the scenes. And all this to say is, I don't think they're stupid. I think it's an educated gamble in a certain sense. They're capturing all these behind the scenes, and God knows what else they're not even showing. But the Canadiens are capturing. It's not simply a rebuild. They're capturing the road to the Stanley Cup, and I'm so happy. Like, I cannot wait to see. I was watching the episodes earlier today, and I was saying it's going to be the rebuild, like, road to glory. By the time we hit like the third season would be ambitious, but maybe the fourth season or the fifth season, if they continue as such, like,
Yeah.
I think they know. I think this is also strategically being released. This footage, this episode, this documentary, everything. Like, I think for once, Anthony, the hockey world knows it. People know it. Fans know it. The players know it. And I'm talking about other NHL players. But I think this, in a certain sense, is the organization confidently but silently saying, we know some real good hockey is going to be coming here to Montreal, and I think that they do know there are going to be some glory days
Chris, you're
ahead
getting me
of
too
us.
excited. You're getting me too excited, Chris. I want to I want to kill the excitement for 30 seconds. I'm sorry.
Boy.
I don't know if we should talk about this. I mean, we should. We have to. It's coming. But do you see it happening in the near future? And I mean within the next couple of weeks.
Oh, Carey.
Do you think Carey Price's contract is getting traded in the next couple of weeks?
I don't know. I know it's the rumors. They're waiting for September 1st, so he gets paid his bonus. But on a business side of things, it makes sense. But I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, but so okay, as fans and as Carey fans, it's gonna, like, that day. It's gonna be like going to a fucking funeral. It's gonna be very painful. We know it's coming. It's something that we all know, but. Put aside that love and respect and we don't want it. Put that aside. Business wise, I think it's time. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think we're over.
Yeah, we're over. If we put him in LTIR, we probably get $6 million in LTIR space. I'm gonna go ahead and say this, and then that's off to say about it until it happens. I don't want to dive too much into it, but if they manage to pull the trade for the contract, it's because they got another player in their sights and they need the cap space for it. If they don't trade it by the time the season starts, it's because they just couldn't pull it off yet, or maybe they don't have a player in sight yet. Maybe they're waiting for the trade deadline. If some other team is really in cap trouble or needs an LTIR contract, maybe. But yeah, I only see that contract going because Kent Hughes is making one last move. That's the only way I could see it. If not, if it doesn't happen this year, the contract ends at the end of the year anyways, so we get that $10.5 million back in cap space. So that's it.
Selfishly and stupidly, I hope that selfishly and stupidly, like, it's stupid, it's nonsensical, but just on the principle, I never want to see another team's name beside Carey Price's.
No, me neither.
That's why I'm really selfishly, I don't want it to happen. Like you just said, Chris, you just said it perfectly. I was thinking about it driving back home from before this episode because I was ready to bring this conversation up. But selfishly, I just want him to finish the contract next year and he walks away and he's still a Habs for life.
Well, you know what's going to happen? If they trade the contract, I get the strongest feeling, sign him on a one-day deal and retire as a Hab.
I think that will happen.
Yeah.
I think that will happen. He's Carey Price. It has to happen. But I think, Sam, you said it. I'll be happy in a sad way, I guess, very contradicting, but I'll be happy if we get rid of his contract now for someone that's going to make us better this season.
Yeah, exactly.
But if we're just doing it just to do it, then no, wait till next year. That's
Well,
it.
I don't think they're going to do it just to do it. Unless a team, again, exactly, to make this team better. Is it another first round pick because some team desperately needs? But mind you, all teams are at the minimum cap anyway. So I don't know. Like I said, the only way I see it, it's just because they got their eyes on someone. That's the only explanation I got, because every team has reached the minimum cap hit for the start of the season. So as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So
We shall
so
see.
that's
Time will tell.
so that's that. We're
That's
good.
that, ladies and gentlemen. So, guys, great episode.
Yep.
To all our listeners out there, if you love what you hear, you can listen to us on any podcast platform such as Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Music, or any other podcast platform you like to listen to. If you want to see more Habs content from us, follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to see our beautiful faces while you hear our beautiful voices. Um, and I would like to thank our sponsors, Mike's Barbecue Rubs. Follow him on Instagram to see his products and order his products. I guarantee you guys will be satisfied. I use the product. Sammy use it. Chris, I'm not sure if you do, but it's an amazing product, guys. It's awesome. And please follow our boy Sunil at Habs Cave. He loves and support the community. He helps the Liam Foundation. He's just a great guy. One of the guy who has the biggest hearts that I know. So please give him a follow. The season is just around the corner. I smell
wait.
it in the air.
Can't wait.
Can't wait to see our boys on the ice.
Yeah.
A lot of content for the Curfew Boys this season. We're going to be at a lot of games. We're going to be at the practices. We're going to be at the Laval Rockets. Guys, you're going to see more and more of us. Get ready. New season of the Curfew Boys will be epic. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Good night.